And now, here's your host, Pastor Scott Velain.
Hello and welcome to the Velain Report. I'm Pastor Scott Velain. Thanks for listening in. It is the 8th of January, 2015, starting out the new year with a bang. If you're listening to us on Spreaker Radio, we are at thevelainreport.com. We are doing this both on video and on radio as well. So we will explain as we go along here to the best of our ability. If you'd like to watch this video, you can watch it on YouTube as well. And you'll find us under Pastor Scott Velain on YouTube. Just look for Pastor Scott Velain. And in the meantime, we will try to explain what's going on for those of you who are listening by radio, internet radio. Okay, so at any rate, we are at thevelainreport.com, the main website. Again, you can find that at thevelainreport.com. Velain is spelled exactly as it sounds, V as in Victor, E-L-A-I-N, thevelainreport.com. And we're just going to scroll down to our news and information center for you here, and we're going to go through some news articles that we have listed here. Again, quick links to all kinds of different articles and some videos that we have here that we've collected concerning things that pertain to end-time events and things that each and every Christian should see. A lot of this is not in the mainstream news media. And we just want to kind of keep you abreast of what's happening here as of the beginning of the year. So we're going to go ahead and dive right into some of these articles real quick here. The first one I'd like you to see is an InfoWars website that we have here. The headline reads, California activists want sexual consent taught to kindergartners. Feminist groups insist consent education for youngsters will not overly teach sex ed. Again, we're talking about kindergartners here. If this isn't a sign of the end times, I just absolutely do not know what is. Why in the world does a kindergartner need to have sexual consent taught to them? Absolutely, just absolutely demonic things are happening in the world right now. This is just one small piece of the pie. I found this actually shockingly disgusting. And just wanted to bring it to your attention. These things are going on, and if we sit and we don't do anything, and we say nothing, we're going to allow these people to push this kind of garbage onto our children. All of this Common Core and sexual consent taught to our kindergartners. I mean, this is just absolutely out of hand. I would immediately pull my daughter out of that school if it was trying to do this type of thing. Moving right along, we have more information here for you as well. This particular one is at thefederalist.com. Thefederalist.com. Headline reads, For the West, Christian hunting is the sport of lawmakers and judges. And they've got a picture here on the front of the lion at the Coliseum with the Christians all huddled around about to be eaten. And again, the headline reads, For the West, Christian hunting is the sport of lawmakers and judges. And I'll just read a little bit of this for you. It says, Washington, D.C.'s City Council is moving to force religious K-12 schools and universities to pay for employee abortions and sponsor on-campus gay advocacy organizations. So it just gets better and better and better. So kindergarten schools now and universities that are religious schools and universities are now going to pay. They're going to be forced to pay for employee abortions and sponsor on-campus gay advocacy organizations. Again, here we go. Hands where they do not belong, power where it does not belong. Again, just kind of wanted to put this in your thinking so that you know these things are happening. Once again, my friends, if we allow these things to happen and we sit silent and do nothing, this is what is going to happen. This is what is already happening all around us, beginning of 2015. Here we go. Here's the next one, next article for you here. This headline reads, Presbyterian Church USA voted on erasing Israel from its prayers. The Presbyterian Church now in the United States of America has now voted on erasing Israel from its prayers. Where are today's churches going? Where are today's churches going? And who is standing up to this? This is just absolutely just unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. This is, again, the Presbyterian Church now erasing its prayers for Israel. I don't know where they think that they come from, but I just might want to, just for a second, I mean, and I don't want to be monstrative here, but the Presbyterian Church needs to remember our Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ in the Greek, indeed was a Jew, my friends. He was called Rabbi. He came from the house of David. Unbelievable. He came from the tribe of Judah, for Pete's sake. These people, I don't understand how someone can read their Bible and then say, well, we're just not going to pray for Israel. Really? Good luck with that. Continuing on, here it even gets a little bit better. Presbyterian Church USA makes controversial divestment move against Israel. I thought this was also sickening as well. And you look at this and you think, well, what's a controversial divestment move against Israel? What exactly are they doing? Well, it says very clearly here, it says the largest U.S. Presbyterian Church narrowly voted Friday to divest from 3 multinational corporations that it said supply Israel with products that promote violence in occupied Palestinian territories. And I just thought that this was interesting to kind of go through a little bit here. Now, we're talking about a church, once again, playing in the stock market. And listen to this. The divestment, vehemently opposed by many of the nation's prominent Jewish organizations, had hailed by many pro-Palestinian activists, passed by 7 votes after hours of intense and complex debate. It means the Presbyterian Church USA will sell its shares of Motorola Solutions, Caterpillar, and Hewlett-Packard, worth about $21 million. Unbelievable. And they're doing this basically to hurt the Jewish people and the nation of Israel. And I just like to ask you this question. What in the world is a church doing playing in the stock market? Can anybody explain that to me? Yeshua said, feed my sheep, not go play in the stock market. $21 million worth of Motorola Solutions, Caterpillar, and Hewlett-Packard. This is what the churches are doing with your tithe money, folks. This is what they're doing. And they wonder why we have closed churches almost on every corner in the United States today. Not only are the Presbyterians also turning their back on Israel, but they're also taking your money and going and playing in the stock market with it. How do you feel about that, being a Christian? If you're not a Christian, then I guess it doesn't really affect you. But for someone who is a Christian to know that the tithe money that you give to the church that is supposed to support the church and the poor and the sick and the ill, going to the stock market, just absolutely sickening, absolutely sickening. And we wonder where God is anymore these days. Where is God? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Moving on, it gets even better from there. Lutheran Church and Vatican announced common liturgical material partnership. Lutheran World Federation and the Vatican announced 2017 together on the way. Once again, the Lutheran Church going back under the umbrella of Catholicism. And we have seen this with all kinds of megachurch leaders now going back to Catholicism. Protestantism is gone. It is dead. The Reformation is being claimed by Kenneth Copeland to be over and done away with. I've got news for Kenneth Copeland. It's not done from where I stand, and many other Americans as well. I don't know who in the world would buy into such a thing. I suppose people that have never taken a course in church history, I would imagine, would buy into such a thing. I'm going to just go ahead and give you some information that you may or may not be aware of. If you go to the VelainReport.com, we have a video that is up there right now. It's called Rekindling the Reformation by Walter Veith. And I highly, highly, highly encourage you to watch that video. If you don't know about the Reformation, you don't know what it was all about, you don't know about Catholicism, you're not really too sure about that, get an education looking at this video. I highly, highly encourage any Christian to take a look at that video. Just unbelievable. All of these churches, you have Joel Osteen running back, Kenneth Copeland running back. We've got all these mega churches now that are getting into Chrislam and joining Islam and Christianity together and just doing all kinds of ungodly, unbiblical things. And again, it is a sign of the times. There will be a one-world religion, and it is coming at us faster than we can even imagine. Just unbelievable. Here's the next article I wanted to show you. Again, this from International Business Times. That's ibtimes.com. The headline reads, Catholic Belgian Bishop calls for formal recognition of gay couples in the church. So this, again, coming from Catholicism, and we've just seen article after article after article of this. Again, completely unbiblical, not found in your Bible anywhere at all. These churches are just running rampant, just all over the earth. I mean, they are just doing demonic things, taking people's money and running to the stock market with it. We've got this whole thing with indulgences. If you don't know what an indulgence is, please go to the Velain Report and watch the video that we have there called Rekindling the Reformation, because you need to watch it. You need to be aware of what an indulgence is and how the Reformation even began. Was because of these indulgences. All right, just wanted to kind of give you a heads up what's going on in the churches around the world as of the beginning of the year 2015. Here's another one for you. Hundreds of churches encourage members to beat each other bloody because men are made for combat. Again, this from rawstory.com. Let me read that headline to you one more time. Hundreds of churches encourage members to beat each other bloody because men are made for combat. This is a church. This is a church, my friends. This is an actual church. Hundreds of churches now are doing this and condoning this. Unbelievable. Encouraging members to beat each other bloody. And do we still believe that we're not living in the end times? Does anybody believe that we are not living in the end times? These articles just get wilder and wilder and wilder as we go along. Unbelievable. Another InfoWars article we have here, Kansas church to host Planned Parenthood abortion celebration. Church will celebrate 42 years of abortion. A Wichita church will be hosting a celebration of abortion for Planned Parenthood. St. James Episcopal Church will celebrate 42 years of abortion with Planned Parenthood of Kansas and Mid-Missouri on January 22nd, 2015 for their Chili for Choice. That's the 42nd anniversary of legalized child killing through abortion under the Supreme Court's Roe v. Wade decision. According to the most recent abortion stats in 2011, the Guttmeyer Institute, Planned Parenthood's research arm, reports that 1.6 million abortions were performed nationally. Still think we're not living in the end times? Unbelievable what is happening in this nation. You know, in ancient times, they were burning their children in the fire to Moloch. Now we don't even get that far. They don't even get out of their mothers. Our adversary has them being murdered in the wombs of their mothers before they ever even see daylight. So there's no more passing through the fire anymore. You just go lay down, you go to sleep, you wake up, and your child's in the trash can. Unbelievable. And we now have churches, an Episcopal church, St. James Episcopal Church, celebrating this. 42 years of abortion, and a church is going to celebrate this? Tell me we are not living in the end times. Anybody who believes that we are not living in the end times simply just has their head in the sand. Unbelievable things are in the news. If I told you that these things were going to happen years ago, you'd have just laughed at me. Here's something else that you should know. This from Forbes.com. EPA's wood-burning stove ban has chilling consequences for many rural people. That's right, EPA now banning wood-burning stoves. Unbelievable. It says, it seems that even wood isn't green or renewable enough anymore. The EPA has recently banned the production and sale of 80% of America's current wood-burning stoves, the oldest heating method known to mankind and mainstay of rural homes and many of our nation's poorest residents. The agency's stringent one-size-fits-all rule applies equally to heavily air-polluted cities and far cleaner, plus typical colder off-grid wilderness areas, such as large regions of Alaska and the American West. Here we go. The Environmental Protection Agency. I'd like to know who exactly they are protecting. Exactly. You can't burn wood in a wood-burning stove. Unbelievable. That's about 12%, it says here. About 12% of American homes will not be able to burn wood in their own wood-burning stove, wood from their own property, wood that belongs to them. They will not be able to burn it in the stove that belongs to them, in the home that belongs to them, according to the EPA. Again, just ridiculous things that you just never thought you'd ever see in the news are happening. Happy New Year, folks. Let's see here. We'll skip that. Well, no, let me go to this one. This particular one is the burningplatform.com. The burningplatform.com. The headline reads, Edward Bernays' theory has been perfected. And this is a whole article here. But I want you to listen to this. There are 1,500 newspapers, 1,100 magazines, 9,000 radio stations, 1,500 TV stations, and 2,400 publishers. They are all owned by 6 corporations: GE, News Corp, Disney, Viacom, Time Warner, and CBS. That's who owns all of these publications. Very interesting article for those of us who still don't believe that the media is guided to tell us what to tell us, when to tell us, and how much to tell us. Again, 1,500 newspapers, 1,100 magazines, 9,000 radio stations, 1,500 TV stations, 2,400 publishers, all owned by 6 corporations. Something to think about. We're going to go ahead and move on from here. We have the next one. This is from allnewspipeline.com. It says, final warning on bank holiday. No food, no credit cards, no commerce. Now, I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Again, this is just another article that we have found. Many financial analysts are telling us that this low gas that we are now experiencing, everybody likes low gas prices. I mean, I like them myself. But we know that the last time a barrel of oil went down to about $40 a barrel was back in 2008, and we had the stock market crash. So we remember exactly what happened the last time oil dropped down so far. And I don't think many of us understand that everything that is plastic that we have in our house, think about how many things are plastic, is made with oil. How many things at the hospital, tubing and masks and all of that all of that is made with oil. When the oil drops, it affects the market in a miraculous way. Garbage bags, anything plastic that you have in your house. Most cars are a certain percentage of them, probably 30%, is plastic. Everything that around you is made with plastic, and this all comes from oil. So it's not just about cars and gasoline that we're looking at. But I want to kind of read this again from All News Pipeline. It starts out like this. It says, with most Americans now completely unprepared for what will soon be coming at them, the observations shared below account for why our source is putting out a final warning for coming bank holidays here in the United States of America. A warning we're told will leave no food, no credit cards, and no commerce, and leave millions of Americans freely walking to the FEMA camps to save themselves. With the price of oil now approaching $40 a barrel and terrifying consequences for the world coming soon after oil hits that low, the emerging signs all show we're getting much closer to the scary plans that the powers that be have for humanity, as shared in the first video below from High Impact Flicks. And I have watched this movie from High Impact Flicks, and if you haven't seen it, if you get time, go to All News Pipeline and watch this. You can actually go to our website. We have that just look for this headline: Final Warning on Bank Holiday, no food, no credit cards, no commerce, and it'll take you right there, and you can watch this video right here. Very informative, just something that you should have under your cap, something that you should know about. Speaking of low prices on oil, I just wanted to pick a few of these. Here's another one, the economiccollapseblog.com. Headline reads, oil falls below $50 as global financial markets begin to unravel. Another informative article that you might want to take a chance or take the time to sit down and take a look at. Here's another one for you here that we found. This from Dave Hodges, The Common Sense Show. This gentleman, a lot of common sense. We pay attention to a lot of his articles. The headline here, how plunging oil prices could lead to World War III. And we've already been told by Putin that once oil got down to about $40 a barrel, that scary things would begin to happen. Here's another one for us here, just real quick, and I just picked these up. They're just all over the place. Another one here from All News Pipeline. Terrifying consequences for world are near. Something is very, very wrong. Again, it says, in a speech only months ago, Russian President Vladimir Putin issued a dire warning that if oil prices fell to $40 a barrel, there would be terrifying consequences for the entire world. Consequences drawing ever closer as oil prices continue to plunge, leading to noted investor Jeffrey Gundlach's new warning to us. I hope it does not go to $40, because then something is very, very wrong with the world, not just the economy. The geopolitical consequences could be, to put it bluntly, terrifying. A lot of these different articles are out. A lot of these analysts are talking about the dangers of oil dropping that low. So it's just something that we need to keep our eyes on. We need to know and understand that these things are in the news and that these things are happening. Here's another article. This from kingworldnews.com. Again, kingworldnews.com. Headline reads, "You are being lied to. The West is in bad shape, particularly the United States." And of course, they have a picture of Hitler here, and it says, by the skillful and sustained use of propaganda, one can make a people see even heaven as hell or extremely wretched life as paradise. Signed, Adolf Hitler. And again, it says the same thing. This is from John Embry. He says, I think the drop in oil is getting overdone on the downside, but it's going to create major problems in the derivatives world. There are an awful lot of derivatives written against oil, and there are a lot of junk paper written against oil. There will be serious ramifications to all of this. Again, another warning about the dangers of oil dropping too low. So just wanted to kind of keep this in your thinking, just so you know what's going on. Moving along, I wanted to talk about this article about asteroids. This I found very interesting, and this is all over the internet as well. This particular article, I found at express.co.uk. That's express.co.uk. And this little publication says, scores of giant asteroids on course to hurtle past Earth within the month, NASA reveals. It says scores of giant asteroids are on course to hurl past or close to the Earth before the end of February, according to the latest NASA space data. Some are more than a kilometer wide and threaten devastating consequences if they were to strike our planet. Almost 70 asteroids on the radar. Most are around 100 meters wide, the size of a double-decker bus, and would be capable of causing significant damage. Experts warn if one of these monsters, some of which travel up to 70,000 miles per hour, were to hit Earth, it could alter life as we know it. Plumes of debris thrown into the atmosphere would change the climate, making the planet inhabitable for all life, including humans. An impact would still be catastrophic, destroying cities and knocking out transportation and communication networks. According to NASA's Near-Earth Project program, there are 68 close approaches forecasted before the end of this month. So a lot going on. You know, we've been experiencing a lot of fireballs over the past couple of years that have been streaking over our heads, and now we have this warning, a rather dire warning from NASA. We've also seen reports about different government facilities now burrowing into the ground and making these tunnel bunkers and what have you under the ground. And, of course, we know about the seed bank that is built into the side of a mountain that the world has been storing up normal, natural seeds, mind you, not GMO seeds, but natural hybrid seeds. So we know that these things are coming, and we kind of wonder, what do the powers that be know? Do they know something we don't know or not? But again, something to watch out for this month. Keep an eye on the skies and keep your news programs on. Again, I just want to mention this. If you don't have at least a month's worth of food in your home and water to keep your family alive, please think about these things. Please, please, please think about these things. And there are so many of us who live paycheck to paycheck. A lot of us don't have enough money to store up 30 days worth of food. Many of us live paycheck to paycheck. So we need to keep those people in mind. We need to keep the elderly, the elderly people that live next door to us. We need to keep our community. Who's going to would impact this? If the electrical grids in the United States did go off, and we know how feeble that they are, what would you do to stay warm? What would you do? What would you do? Do you have an action plan? Do you have a place for your family to meet in case of a catastrophic emergency such as this? Anything that any provisions ready? Please think about these things. Please think about these things. And I know people that have made jokes and laughed at preppers and all these types of things, but please, please, we need to start taking these things seriously. You just never know what is going to happen. You know, the Bible tells us in Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, our Messiah, in the Greek, told us that there would be earthquakes in diverse places. He told us there would be wars and rumors of wars. All of these things are coming to pass. And I know a lot of people say, well, you know, these things, even the apostles thought back in their day, you know, that it was going to be the end of time. Well, that's very true. Maybe some of them did. And I know through World War II and the Inquisition and all of these different things and we had going on in the world, people probably thought, boy, you know, this is the end of time. This is it. This is it. The problem with that thinking is simply this. Biblical prophecy had not been fulfilled up until that point. The state of Israel had not become a nation at that point in time, and many biblical prophecies had not come true. Now, the Bible tells us and that's just not the only prophecy. I mean, we could do a whole show on just the prophecies that have been fulfilled, and we could go on. I'd probably have to take a week to do it. Literally hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of prophecies have come true from what we know as the Word of God or the Bible. And one of the major prophecies, indeed, was Israel coming back as a nation. And the Bible tells us very clearly that within a generation, it would be the time for our Messiah to come back. And we are about 70 years out now, a little bit better than that. 1948, Israel was established as a nation once again. And the Bible tells us very clearly that the Lord God, Yahweh, will put hooks in their jaws and draw them against Israel, and that she would be a burdensome stone for the whole world. Again, just prophecy after prophecy after prophecy, just coming true as we sit here and as we look at these news articles that are in the news today and the things that are happening. Babylon has been completely reestablished throughout the world. And I know there's a lot of people that believe that Babylon is the United States, and some people believe that Babylon is Catholicism in the Vatican. Some people that believe that Babylon is actually Mecca. So there's a lot of different opinions out there floating around. And we're going to get into that as well on the Seventh-day Sabbath program that we do every Seventh-day Sabbath. But I don't want to get into all of that right now. I just say all of that to say this. When we see these things that are happening in the news, we need to take notice. It is extremely important for us to take notice of what is happening. Before I let you go here, I just want to take you over to the new website that we have up and running now, Holy Impact Ministries. The Seventh-day Sabbath videos that we produce will now be listed at holyimpactministries.com. So you can find us on holyimpactministries.com. You can also find us, we are broadcasting on Spreaker as well. We are also here on Facebook. You can get us on Facebook. You can watch the YouTube channels. If you want to just watch the videos, the Seventh-day Sabbath videos, you're welcome to do that. We have a tab here, and the videos will be listed here underneath Seventh-day Sabbath. So the Seventh-day Sabbath videos will all be right here for you. And we have some very interesting videos here. God's laws are not nailed to the cross, parts 1 and 2. Stealing versus understanding God's laws. Is Sunday or Saturday the Sabbath? The abominations of Easter, replacement theology destroyed. And we have just different Bible studies here for you. The Christmas Matrix, pre-tribulation rapture facts, a lot of interesting videos. And we just try to do video in presentations and studies on things that people are asking about and things that people seem to be kind of lost about. So we try to work on those types of things. Of course, the website is in its infancy right now, and it's under construction, but we do have some things there for you. If you get a chance, go bookmark us at holyimpactministries.com. These different videos will all be posted on our Facebook page as well, so you can reach us at Facebook. Just go to our homepage very simply, or look for Holy Impact on Facebook.com. And you can find us there. We just got that put up and running as well. So just wanted to let you know that there is a website there. We do produce videos on the Seventh-day Sabbath on Saturday. And we just try to talk about things that people want to know, things that people have questions about, things that people are confused about. And we try to go back to the Bible, and we go back to a Hebraic mindset, and we look at what the Bible actually does say and what it doesn't say. There are a lot of scriptures that seem to say different things, and it's difficult if you don't keep your things in the right context to understand what the scriptures are saying. So that's what the Seventh-day Sabbath is all about, is about taking those difficult to understand scriptures and being able to understand them so that they do not conflict with other scriptures that are in the Bible. And we talk about how to study the Bible and to let the Bible actually be its own dictionary, in other words. The Bible will tell us. A lot of people get confused with the book of Revelations and what all these symbols are, and heads and horns and beasts and water and all these different things. We explain what those things are, and we let the Bible tell us what those things are. So we let the Bible interpret the Bible, in other words. And we don't run off half-cocked with conjecture. What we believe in has to match up all the scriptures. You can't just believe something and half of the scriptures in the Bible go against what your beliefs are. If you can't reconcile your theology and your belief with everything, with all scriptures that are in the Bible, then something is broken about your theology and your understanding. So we need to be able to reconcile all the scriptures. And again, the only way to do that is to keep things in the right context. And when we read passages like the book of Acts, or the book of Galatians, or the book of Hebrews, or the epistles of Paul, we need to understand who Paul was, where he was standing, who he was talking to, what the challenges were, in order to better understand what the scriptures mean. And that's what Holy Impact Ministries is all about, is getting back to the roots of our belief system and what Christianity really stands for and what does it really say. And the idea that can you really be saved by saying a 60-second prayer on television or in a stadium with a preacher or a so-called man of God. Is that biblical? Was that true? Can you really do that? What day is the true seventh-day Sabbath of God? Is it Sunday? Is it Saturday? Where did it get changed? We talk about all those types of things on the Seventh-day Sabbath videos. So give us a look. Just take a look at it. See if you like it. Bookmark us. We always have a new video that's coming out there. And again, we have our site at the Velain Report. That is more geared for current news and events and things that are happening. So the Velain Report is kind of a sister site to Holy Impact Ministries, but we keep the Velain Report for news and information, and we keep Holy Impact Ministries just for the Word of God. We only talk about the Word of God. Very rarely do we talk about things that are in the news at Holy Impact Ministries, but we do talk about the news and current events and things that Christians need to be aware of on the Velain Report. So they're a little bit different in context, but they are both there to keep you abreast of what is going on. At any rate, I am Pastor Scott Velain. Just wanted to thank you so much for watching this report. And my prayer for you is that the hope and the peace and the grace of God, as well as God's protection, would be upon you and your family until we meet again. Thank you so much for watching this report. We'll see you next time on the Velain Report.